Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Free Thinkers. Sorry, it's been a while. We made a video, but we're back. We're back. We're back. We just had to do some, take care of some things in the background. Once again, I don't like to say your boy. It's your man, King Show with a flow. And I have here with me another man, Abdel Balo.
You
That
are
rhymed, King Show with a flow and Abdel Balo.
yes. So we are back live today. We're going to be discussing gender role. Uh,
Gagal.
Let me share the situation we have that was brought up to us recently,
Wait,
and
wait,
we'll
wait.
be.
Wait. Before you share, I mean, gender roles, expectations. I mean, what are your thoughts on that just in general? What do you think?
So me personally, my idea on gender role, because especially in the 21st century, um, I don't necessarily believe there should be a specific role for men or women. Um, or I don't believe a man should be judged or a woman should be judged based on certain specific or predetermined characteristic. I think it should be a an understanding between a man and a woman once they get together to see how they can work together to ensure that the family, the life, their relationship is working better. So if I'm supposed to be cleaning the house, I'll clean the house. If we decide, okay, we have to do everything together, we share who's doing the chores, I'll do the chores. I wouldn't expect you to come from working and cook, or I wouldn't expect you to be cooking. I will have my time to be cooking, you have your time to be cooking. We'll work together to make sure that nothing is mainly focused on you or just mainly focused on me so we can help each other grow. That's where I personally see relationship, or in this case marriage, as a partnership between two people, and who will do everything to who will work together efficiently to make sure that the goals are achieved, and the expectation for the family can be reached. That's all. Also work together for the for the happiness.
Okay, thank you for that textbook answer. Much
What I see it,
appreciated.
textbook answer. It's
Much
not a textbook answer. It's how I see it.
much
So
much
what about
appre-
you? You
much
asking me a question.
much appreciated. Huh?
What about you?
Me? Yeah. I think I align with most things you said. I don't want to say everything you said because I probably wasn't paying attention to some parts.
You did not pay attention to what I was. You
I
asked
paid
me a
attention, but
question.
it started seeming like I was in a classroom. So I was like,
What do you
okay.
mean? How is that a textbook answer?
But yeah. Gender roles. I think there's still some things that some people, like you said. I think it depends on each individual couple. I think different people come with different, what would you say, expectations or predispositions of what they believe a man should do and a woman should do in a relationship. So it's important to have those conversations because some people, you might, maybe saw your parents or your father or your mother do things a certain way growing up, and you might automatically assume that that's how it should be when you get married, but it might not necessarily, your spouse might not necessarily think the same way. So of course you have to have those discussions. You know, I wash dishes sometimes. Not to say that's a female thing to
Sometimes,
do.
sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, sometimes you just toss that stuff in the dishwasher. But it's not. I don't necessarily look at it like, oh, you're the one who goes wash dishes. And most times I take out the trash. I don't necessarily think it like, oh, it's necessarily my job. But I mean, it's we in my household we don't necessarily have a thing of, oh, you're supposed to do this, I'm supposed to do that. It's just we're pitching in, helping each other out. Sometimes if it's my day off and I have energy, I'm the one washing that bathtub. And for the most part, sometimes my wife might be the one. It just depends. I mean, we just had a kid,
So
so
it's important to mention that you are married and I'm not.
huh?
Okay. So it's important to mention that you are married and I'm not.
Well, if you feel that's important, that's fine.
I mean, yeah, because it's
I'm
just
married and he's not married,
yeah.
so I mean, we just had a kid, so a lot of things I might even find myself doing more than we typically would. But I mean, my wife is busy with raising our child. I mean, I don't have breast milk, so that's a gender role. I can't provide
No,
breast milk.
but that one is a
physiological.
Physiological general, like you can't change that.
Eh,
Nothing you can do about that.
yeah. So, but I mean, sometimes she pumps and I feed the child.
Yes.
So it depends. So we just work together for
And then there is also what you call this thing, those bottle um, formula,
formula.
formula you can use.
Yeah.
That is again a decision between you and your
Your
significant
spouse.
other. Yeah.
Yes. True. 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 All right. So let's go into the scenario, man. What you got?
You did so. I don't think I get your answer exactly. So for you,
Uh,
it's also a part. Is it a partnership? So you basically what
I,
you tell me
I
you don't
wouldn't
necessarily.
say marriage is a partnership.
Wait,
That's
let me make it clear. So basically, what you say you don't necessarily believe in gender roles.
um
Well, that was so necessary. I don't know what you're trying to do, but okay.
I didn't say I didn't be. Hey, please, please. You said your own. Oh, I
So
said
that's
this.
what I was trying to clarify. That's what I was trying to clarify. So is that
You
what you're
said
saying?
your own. You said I said it's textbook. That's all. Don't come and start giving me statements. This is not Fox News. Those are start giving me statements that I did say.
I
I
literally,
did say I don't believe in
I
gender
literally
roles.
asked for clarification.
I
I
did say I don't believe in
literally,
gender roles.
I literally asked for clarification. So what do you, are you, so again, do you believe in gender roles? Yes or no?
I don't necessarily believe. I mean, depend. What do you? Okay, what do you mean when you say gender roles? What
No,
is
no,
gender?
no. Let's not go into this. No,
No,
I
we
don't
have to
want
go
to do
there. You want me to agree? You want me to
No, no,
agree
no, no, no,
on a
no.
lie? You want me to
Okay,
agree on?
now you're being a politician. You literally tried
I
to.
must be a politician. We are live.
Yeah,
We are live. Uh,
you are literally trying to be a politician right now. But okay, that's fine. There is one thing missing though in this conversation. We need a female a perspective.
female, hey, if any female out here happens to come across this video, watches this video, and you would like to be on our channel, hey, let us know.
So
Drop a
again,
comment.
we will definitely be able. We will definitely be glad to repost it or redo it with a female with a female
We'll
perspective.
just do a whole nother video. We just do a whole nother video, but
Yeah.
we're looking for, people that would like to collaborate or give their input on certain topics that we discuss. And I think this is a topic where would be balanced if we had a woman's input.
So since we know that it will be one sided. So excuse any bias you might hear from us, and please let us know where you think we can get better. Now, do you want us
Go ahead.
to show the question now, the situation that we had today?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, okay, here it is here. So hold on one second. Let me share my screen.
See, has a whole PowerPoint presentation, textbook answer. Told you.
Whatever, bro. Whatever. So the question we have today, or the situation we have today, is a wife makes $8,000 a month, and a husband makes $2,000 a month. Rent is $1,500 every month. Who's paying the rent? So again, a wife makes $8,000 a month. A husband makes $2,000 a month. Rent is $1,500. Who's paying the rent?
This sounds like a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire question.
Hey, it might be. It might be that. It might just be that. I don't
What do
know.
you do?
Let me get out of the stop sharing my screen.
Why do you just leave it to? You could have left it up there for a little bit, but yeah. Would you like to go ahead? I wonder where the
No, no, no.
scenario.
I want to hear yours first. I want to hear your standing. So,
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you want to hear me first, but I told this scenario to someone today, and that person was like, "There's a huge discrepancy in this scenario." And this was, of course, me and Adele. We've discussed this offline for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Even we discussed we've discussed this vigorously in various scenarios, and oh, in this scenario, you've kind of changed the scenario. You've
I
already
didn't.
assumed
It's the same thing.
they got married. I thought you said they were trying to get married or
No, no,
something like
no.
that.
They're already married. They're already
They're
married.
already married.
I mean, they're already married. The woman knows
Well,
the situation.
I will start off with a word of advice to that man. He should try and do something to get his income up there a little bit. That times two k a month. Let me finish, Abdel. 2K a month is 24K a year. That's, I think, about the poverty line, like the whatever you call it, the poverty It's like the
I
food.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's. I mean, if you in the United States, that's. I think that's about. You probably
No,
just a little
I
bit
think.
over.
Oh
You're
shit! I
probably
should, I should have looked it up, this up earlier. The poverty. I think it's 17 for two or 24 for two people. I don't know.
it's not 17. It's not that low. I think it went up to about 21 at least. Last time I saw.
Also,
But
if he's making that alone, he's above poverty line.
I mean, making
Because
that alone,
that's
making
24
that
per year.
alone, making that alone, even as a single person, I mean, be kind of difficult. So I just hope that that person, if a man is out there and makes that amount of money, you probably need to be trying to figure out something to get your income up there, whether it's school or looking for another job or working a couple of jobs. I mean, you need to have some kind of plan for your future. Because I mean, if kids come into play and things like that, or your wife lose her job or something, I mean, that's just gonna be that's gonna be really rough. That's just the reality. Um, some people are of the opinion that my view is elitist.
Why
That guy,
you? Yo,
that guy,
oh, you're
that guy
giving.
over there.
Hold on,
Which
hold on,
way?
hold on.
Where are
So
you? Am I
you're
facing
giving
you?
your,
Am
you're
I
giving.
facing you when I do this way? Am I facing you?
I have
When I,
no clue what you're doing.
when I face you, which way are you? Because
I
yeah,
have no clue what you're doing right now.
but
I'm literally, I'm just waiting for
but
you to.
Abdel thinks my view is elitist. I
Hold
think
on,
no.
hold
I
on.
think my view is: are you trying? You want to survive? I mean, you have to make a little. But let me not- let me not to go too in. I'm this is just caution. I mean, I've made that amount of money before, one time in my life. We
You
both
have?
have. We both have.
From what you're saying, it doesn't sound that you ever had.
No, I have. My first job, I worked at Wendy's. So I worked at Wendy's. I was making $6.35 an hour. But at that point in my time in my life, I was not definitely not thinking about getting married or proposing to anyone. I mean, I barely could
So
afford rent.
is your standing that if a man makes that much money or that less of money, should not that man should never get married, should not be given the ticket to be married to the happiness.
I mean, I mean, part of the things of getting married is you're saying you want to provide for someone, or you want to support someone.
Okay.
So now I'm not saying you should be the full provider. I'm not saying you have to, but you have to bring something to the table. You can't just be living in your mom's basement and talk about you trying to get married.
So based on your answer there is you are because if it's flipped, let's say it was a woman, would you have said what you just said?
I would encourage anyone. I would encourage anyone making that amount of
No,
money.
no, no, no. I'm talking about specifically the word provider that you use.
Yeah, okay. So you're not more going to me being okay, the patriarchy aspect or so. As a man, my own view. This is my own personal view. If you like, go out there and screenshot my profile picture and put it on WhatsApp Hip Hop. I don't care. Come for me. I don't care. Last, I'll just log off the internet. But my own personal view, I think um the man, I mean, you have to be able to provide for your family. That's just it. You have to be able to provide for your family. I think a woman, should be able to support the household as well. I'm not saying it's primarily the man's responsibility alone to support the household, but you should be. I mean, you can't be out here and call yourself a man and your wife and your children are starving. Uh, I mean, and you could do something about it. And now there are situations. I'm not. This one I want to be very careful with my words. There might be situations where, yeah, people are in these situations, and it happens in this country. Abdel, you're looking at me with so much judgment right now.
Oh my! I didn't
Like,
even say a word. I literally didn't even say anything. I
but
didn't say
there are
anything.
situations. There are people, of course, making this amount of money. But I'm not saying. I don't want to be Mister pull yourself up by your bootstraps kind of guy. No, I'm
That
not
is
saying
exactly
that.
what you are right. That is exactly what you're saying right now. Like there is no.
No,
It's funny. Like you
my,
sound
my,
super
my
elitist right now.
can you stop interrupting?
Okay.
My statement was very clear. I said if you're making that amount of money, I didn't say you cannot get married. I didn't say you should not. But if you're planning to, or if you are, there's some things you need to try and do to help improve yourself in this life. not everybody is not as it sounds simple. It might sound, I mean, I'm being too simple, but this is just, there's nothing wrong with me telling people, someone to, okay, try and do something to advance yourself to get a better income. That's straight. I would give that advice to anybody. I'll give that advice to myself. I'll give my advice to you. If it's my son, I'll give him that same advice, because that's just a reality. That's just the reality of the situations. Okay, 2K a month. If 2K a month and you're an individual, you want to get a place on your own with 2K a month. Okay, let's say you get a place. What about your car? What about gas? What about bills? What about health insurance? I mean, there's just so many questions out there. I mean, so many things that could be considered an expense, and and what might tend to happen in these kind of situations, if you look at the percentage of people living off of credit cards or living off of credit or living off of debt and personal loans, I mean, that's kind of almost going to be the only way in which you're getting by if you're making that amount of money. And that's just the reality. Even people who make a lot more than that are living in this country are living on straight up debt. So that's just my personal view.
So you still have
Abdel, give your own opinion. Give your own opinion. Yeah, yeah.
hold
Question.
on, hold
You're
on. I'm not
interrogating
again.
me.
I'm not. And listen to me first. You have not answered the question. So
What's
who's
the
paying
question?
rent? Who's paying rent was the question.
Who is paying rent? Okay, let me get to the question. Who's paying rent? When you are married, the two have become one.
Okay.
There's no me. There's no yours. There's no husband is making 10K, 8K. I mean, woman is making 8K. Husband is making 2K. So that being said, to me, they are both making 10K.
Okay.
Husband and wife, the family is making 10K. The family as a whole is making 10K. So there's no, oh, you only brought 2K this month. Oh, I brought 8K. I paid the bills. Da, da. That's why one of more reason for divorce, at least in the United States, probably across the world, but at least in the United States, divorce or problems in marriage is finances, money issues, issues related to money. Excuse me. So couples need to be on the same page when it comes to money. So even if the woman is making more, the man is making more, it doesn't matter. If the man is even making more, it doesn't matter. The woman or whoever is making less should still have equal say into how the finances are distributed, what bills you're paying, where you decide to live, um, how much you're paying for rent, how much you're paying for food. I believe both couples should be coming together to make a budget each month and decide how things are being done. We're not living in 18, in 1690 or whatever year you want to call it, where the woman is just supposed to just listen and the man's the head of the household and whatever he does goes. I mean, times have changed, but even without times changing, I think that's just a more appropriate and respectful way for people to handle finances in the marriage. I don't necessarily see it as a partnership. I see it as you become one. Um, I I was just saying, me being who I am, my own personal beliefs as a Christian to my best understanding. I'm not saying I'm speaking for all Christians out there, but this is just my personal view. I believe they both make $10,000 and they should, sit down every month to develop a budget on how they want to build a future together or what they're going to be spending their money on. So there's no question of who's paying the rent. They're both paying the rent.
So I
That's
mean, so you answer the question. So first, on my side, yes, they're both gonna pay the rent. So basically, the way you're saying it is everybody should be have they just have a joint account and everybody put one money. I mean, one sum. They're all there's everything in it, and then they divide from there. My view on it is a little different. For me, one
I didn't necessarily say, wait, just to correct you, I didn't necessarily say they need to have one account. If you like, have 10 accounts.
but
As long as you're
but
both making
everybody is
decisions for how the
doing
money is being spent.
okay. So I agree with you. So again, to me, we is my idea of it is also very similar. Again, it doesn't mean that that's what I will do in my personal life. It doesn't mean that at all. This is just it's different viewpoints. And you don't have to make it those eyes. If you make those eyes, you don't have to be making those eyes. Okay. So, but anyways, because in this case, the woman is making much more, and the man is making significantly less. Um, I believe it should be both of them paying rent, definitely, but it should be like in a percentage situation, basically based on how much money each person is making. In this case, the the woman is making 4 times more than the man, so she will pay 3/4 of the rent, and the man will pay 1/4. In that case, both sides can contribute and still have something left in their pocket, so they can do whatever they feel important for them to do separately. So that's where I came from. Like, because I don't want it. I see it as, and we're just using rent as an example here. It comes to all the expenses in the house. Like, it should be based on a ratio of how much you make, so everybody can still have whatever else in their own pocket without feeling like they're being used or being um, they're being taken advantage of or something like that. Although I do agree is 1 plus 1 is equal to 1, and I still believe in 1 plus 1 equal to 1 in that sense. It's just not a perfect one as yours will be.
Can I comment now?
Of course, you can comment. I think
I have several comments. So in this situation,
yes.
how much is the husband paying and how much is the wife
So
paying?
in this situation, the husband is
Can you pull up? Can you show your screen again?
Yes, hold on.
But we're listening as you pull that up.
Hold on, let me share the screen. So in this situation, the husband is paying. Let me do 15.
The husband makes 2K and the wife makes 8K.
Yes.
And the rent is 1,500. So the husband is gonna pay how much in rent each month?
1/4.
He's gonna pay 1/4 of the rent.
Correct. 1/4 of 1,500.
350. What is that?
I don't know. That's 375.
So the husband. I don't know why that's so funny to me. So the husband's gonna pay. Wait. The husband's gonna pay 375.
Yes.
In rent.
Correct.
Is there any way you can pay 375 for rent in America? So before you got married, before
No, there is a way.
no. So this man is benefiting from this marriage then, because before he got married, he was definitely paying more than it was either don't let me say something that they will say.
Hold on.
Before he got married, what was he paying in rent? Because he got married, and all of a sudden he's saving money on rent. Oh, okay. I think we've lost Adele. So this is Abdel's take on this is pretty funny. So before the husband got married, he must have been paying more than $375 in rent. Now that he's married, he's paying $375 in rent.
So the idea is, when you get married, you guys help each other out. It doesn't matter. So there should be some benefit from both sides. Okay.
There's only in this scenario. There's only going to be benefit on one side.
So even if we go with the idea of we become one, which is still the same thing, and we put everything together, and we decide, it's still going to be the same thing. It's still going to be similar, or even worse.
How much was this man paying in rent before he got married?
But it doesn't matter, because like
what is the lowest rent? The lowest rent you have ever seen in this country?
You're still missing the point.
No, you didn't answer my question. What's the lowest rent you have seen in this country?
If he was living in a studio with a bunch of roommates, he'll be paying less than
so he So this man has upgraded. So he actually took my advice. This man took my advice. He took my advice. He's making 2K a month. He found someone making 8K a month. That was his plan. That was his plan to improve his future, because he went from paying $375 with a bunch of roommates to now having one roommate and still paying $375 and have more space. Now he has access to like maybe a two bedroom, 2 bathroom, upgraded, and now he's paying 1/4 of bills. I mean,
it's the same thing if you get married. It's the same thing if you have one. If you just put everything in one account. It's even worse. What if you want to buy something for himself? What if you want to buy brand new shoes? Now he will literally be buying on the woman's dime.
How? It's not on her dime. They're one, Adele. They're one.
Yes,
When you're
but you literally listen to yourself. You just said the dude just upgraded. You literally just said the dude upgraded.
in your scenario, no, I'm going off of your scenario.
Oh, so
In
in your scenario, he didn't upgrade it. In your scenario, he didn't upgrade.
in my scenario, like I said, wait, listen. In my scenario, I said they both make 10K. So
Yes,
they're both making decisions on what that money be used for. So you can't just come up with a sudden and say, I want to buy some shoes.
but in that scenario as well, he's living his best life. It's still an upgrade. Like there's no difference. He's still paying less in rent. Is he's still paying less in rent? The only difference between your
No.
scenario.
They are paying rent.
Okay,
They are paying rent. They're both
okay,
paying rent.
okay,
There's
fine.
no degree. There's no like, oh, okay, okay, 375 for rent. So, $25 for. So by the time it's 2K now finished, what will not happen? She'll not say, your 2K has finished, yo. Your
The
2K has
ticket cannot finish because the proportion of whatever he has, it cannot finish.
ah.
It can't because the proportion. The only thing that will happen is the amount he will be contributing will be significantly less compared to the
What if
amount.
there's a medical bill? So okay. If the guy goes to a doctor, who pays that medical bill then?
No, of course, that's insurance.
There's copay. What's wrong with you? Which country are you living
Well,
in?
he has good insurance. He has no copay.
No, no.
If he has copay, he will pay out of the money that he will save from the 2K that he's making.
Does this guy have a 401k?
He has the 401k through his
Is
job.
this 2K? Is this 2K pre-tax or
Now you
is
have
it pre?
yeah,
Is
yeah,
it pre, is it gross or net?
at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. This dude upgraded. It doesn't matter how. I think we both agree that both of them are paying rent, right?
Please don't try and I can't say whitewash because you're black. Don't try and
How do you know if they're black?
don't try
What
and
how do you know if they're black? There is no race in this
no,
thing.
you. I said you are black, so I can't say
Oh,
whitewash. I said don't try and add my own answer to your answer. It's not the same.
no,
Don't
no, no,
I
no, no,
gave
no.
I gave my answer. You gave your answer. Our answers are not the same. You keep trying
Oh,
to say it's the same thing. It's not. It's
it
not the same.
is. It is the same thing. Because at the end of the day, they're still putting the money together.
You're over here doing improper fractions with people's. You're doing improper fractions with.
So the reason why I think this is safe for these men is at least
Safe.
is better. Is he can still retain some type of what?
Some type of what? What is he retaining?
No, he's not
Married.
retaining.
You're
But
married. This man should not be retaining anything.
oh my god.
You're married. Once you marry, the two have become one. Anything that you were trying to retain from your single life, just that.
There's nothing about that. The issue here is he if we put everything together in this specific case, when things comes to like his personal need, he need for instance the example of him needing or wanting to buy a brand new shoe, for instance. If he's if it's his own if it's the money that he has saved based on the plan that they have agreed upon, it wouldn't be necessarily a significant discussion and issue in the house. But if we put everything together and this man want to buy a brand new shoe, so then him and his wife they have to sit and still discuss it in both cases. But
Now, what's wrong with that? They're married. That's what
of
married
course,
people.
this have in both cases, in your situation, in mine as well. The only difference is in yours, he will literally be taking. He might be taking out of the. I guess it doesn't matter because they want the income of the woman as well to go buy his own shoes, which is fine. Which is fine, but I don't know. I just believe that a man should be able to. Why are you making those? Why are you making those eyes? Why?
Finish your statements. Let me make my eyes. Let me make my eyes.
No, like he should be able to retain some.
What dignity?
uh, a little bit when it comes to that, like so he can provide to himself for himself without necessarily needing help from his woman.
Okay, so
And
what, all of a sudden this guy wins the lottery and now he pretty much has $10,000 a month for the rest of his life.
mhm.
Would he be willing to go with my plan at that point, or he still wants to be maintained? There's no, what's the dignity? What foolish dignity is he trying to maintain? What foolish dignity? You are married. You have to maintain dignity in front of your wife.
I think you should maintain dignity regardless. It doesn't matter if you're married or not. Um,
Yes, but I don't think that has anything. I mean, I don't think that's, and I think that's part of the gender roles or expectations, where you know,
because honestly, put yourself in the woman's shoe as well. And if you working, you do all that work
what
in
all work? Maybe her job is the easiest thing in the world, and she just gets 8K for doing nothing. And maybe the guy goes out there and labors for 80 hours to get 2K.
maybe that's a possibility too. That's true. That's a possibility too. That's a possibility too.
My perspective is that they both make 10K. It doesn't matter. We both on this hustle, and we're both building each other. We're both planning for the future. If I want a pair of new shoes, hey baby, I want to get a pair of new shoes. Okay, there should be a clothing budget. What pair of new shoes? And in one of our scenarios offline, you're telling me this guy wanted to buy a PS5 or something. If I catch
Mhm.
this guy, if I
So see, that's another issue. So
if I
if
catch
if
you,
we do
make,
if we do it the way I'm suggesting, if he can use his own savings to do it without causing a huge amount, because at least the woman knows that he's doing his part, and it's not necessarily going to be
both
from
have
the
a part to do, man. You my definition of your own scenario is that you're treating the marriage as if they are roommates.
no. How can roommate be
Let me
paying for
finish.
this
Let me
together?
finish. You're treating marriage like you're roommates. Oh, you pay 1/4. I'll pay 3/4. Oh, want to buy a couch? Oh, you pay 1/4. I'll pay 3/4. We want to buy a new microwave. Oh, you pay 1/4. I'll pay 3/4. Oh, our kids need money for um new gear for soccer practice. Oh, you pay 1/4. I'll pay 3/4. That 2K does not go that 2K no they last like that too.
No, if you do the one,
When it's
if
not
you do
NBA 2K,
the
when
ratio,
it's not NBA 2K,
if you do the ratio, and you guys all agree on what you're spending money on every month, it should be fine. Now, that is just one side. What about the people who says so? That's just one side. Okay. What about the people who says the men still have to pay the rent regardless?
I don't know who those people are.
Oh, so you haven't. But I have been talking to people about this. I asked at
I
work.
heard of people. I've heard that, but I mean, like I said, some people might come to these scenarios with some beliefs about how things should be done in marriages, maybe based off how they saw things growing up in their households or the people around them. Some people might say, the man must pay the. Okay, if the man is paying the rent and the rest of the bills is okay, let's say the rent is 1.5 and the man making 2K pays all the rent and you only has 500 left, but the rest of the bills, like insurance and all that stuff, car insurance, 2K, this 2K, we need to talk about this 2K, car insurance, phone
Yeah,
bill,
I'm not gonna leave that. You don't
car
let people.
insurance,
That's
phone
what.
bill,
That's what. Forget about that. That's what he makes.
car. Let me speak. Car insurance, phone bills, light and gas, electricity, uh, uh,
They don't have.
renters,
They don't have
renters
any.
insurance,
They're both.
renters insurance, gas, maintenance of a car, oil change, food. We haven't even talked about food. You know, go eat. Won't he eat? Let's say all the rest of the bills is 2,000, and the guy is paying the rent. You know, that's why I said they both make. These divisions. People, some people are trying to go into marriage, but they're not really. They don't understand or not really ready for marriage because there's no point. As I mentioned with one of my coworkers today, it's pretty much told me like, then what's the benefit of getting married if you're gonna still try and keep things separate? What's the real benefit of you
But
getting married?
you're not technically keeping anything separate though.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Yes, you are. You're only coming together on certain things which roommates can do anyway. Roommates can decide to pay rent. Why get married to someone if you still want to have a separate thing going on? Like, oh, my money to buy my shoe. or my money to buy my PS5 and all that stuff. You should both be having combined savings. When you come together as a married couple, you say, okay, I'm coming together and we're going to build a future together. We're going to have the same goals. We're going to discuss everything. If I want a new pair of shoes, I'll be able to discuss that with my wife. If I want a new shirt, I should be able to discuss that with my wife. If I want to spend money to go out with the guys, you should be able to discuss that with my wife. Now, within your budgets, you don't have to always discuss everything with your spouse, right? Within that same budget, you could have a monthly allowance that you don't necessarily have to discuss with your spouse, and for the wife as well. You can have a monthly allowance of maybe $100 or something, and that could be your money to buy Starbucks or whatever, or do whatever you want. But as a unit, the best scenario that I think should the way it should be in a marriage, from my perspective, and my the little experience that I have in marriage, I just think that everybody should be working together and making plans together. That's just my perspective. What are your final thoughts, Adele? We have to wrap up this video.
So you are correct on one point. Most likely, cost, the remaining cost will be more than the house rent, because I'm looking at the average household budget in the U.S. From
It's like $56,000, dude.
no, the budget, like in a household. So percentage of housing, how much you pay in rent, roughly, from what I'm seeing, is about 16% of the budget of a household, and this is based on the consumer expenditure survey conducted by the U.S. But this data might be old. Is from 2013, is what I'm seeing.
So it's gonna be the amount is even more now. Then
Well, the amount might be more. But
who's gonna pay for Netflix subscription?
well, that's what I'm saying. You are correct
Or
that
or the guy's gonna pay one. He's gonna pay 1/4 of $12 again.
you are, so if you add everything together, you wouldn't be looking at it like that. But yes, if even for the people that said the men should still pay the rent, even if the man pays the rent and just the rent, the other expenses in the house will still be are more likely to be more than to be more than the rent.
I don't know where this man must pay the rent. People are. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with it. Bills is bill. A bill that needs to be paid is a bill that needs to be paid. So the
Okay.
man should just pay the rent and forget about everything else. I
No,
mean,
not
a
necessarily. But
bill that
so
needs to be paid is a bill that needs to
so
be
from
paid.
the people I've talked to, the mindset is a man is supposed to at least provide a roof over the head of the family. So
We're not in ancient days Scandinavia. Oh, this we're not Vikings. We're not we're
But,
not Vikings.
anyways, I was telling you, I'm providing different opinions. Okay, I gave you two opinions. You only gave once. I'm providing other opinions that are out there.
I
So,
only have I don't know what other opinions are. Other opinions out there to me are just I don't know. I mean, like I
see,
said, at the end of the day, is whatever works for people, right? But apparently a lot of things that people are doing out there is not working because you go look at the divorce rates in the United States. I mean, I think people are going to marriages with their own predispositions, if that's the right word to use, or their own expectations, or their own assumptions, and you think it's gonna be a certain way, and you get in there and you realize, it's not that way. You're coming with your own baggage, your own emotions, your own ideas, your own thoughts, and you're coming with this pride, and you want your own way. You want to become one with someone, but you're not really becoming one because you kind of want your way to be the one. So that would be my final thoughts, bro.
no, hold on. So what about those people who believe? Well, in this case, the men will be doing other things in the house like cleaning, cooking, and so on, and the woman will be paying most of the bills. What about those who believe that?
Eh?
What is A? Like the role will be changed because since she makes way more, and we're assuming she's in this case people in this case, sometimes she's busy making all that money.
So since she makes more, the man has now become a slave.
Oh, that is not what I said.
That's
That
pretty much what you said. You said she's gonna be
no,
paying the bills and he should be
no,
just
no, 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 no,
you have
no,
married she have
no,
married a houseboy, Abby.
no, 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 that wasn't stress. Okay, that wasn't stress. That was not the intention at all. So the thing is, the idea here is other
I
things?
just told you, Abdul. I just told you she could be making 8K. Maybe she's making 8K off a trust fund from her father or something.
She does- She's
She
a
could.
busy. Let's assume
People,
she's a busy woman. No, let's assume she's a busy woman
okay.
making. In that case, they decide the man.
Who told
If
you the man is not busy to make his 2K? You know,
but obviously the 2K is not enough. So obviously the 2K is not enough. So they work together. They decide, okay, the man can do other things in the house. The woman will be paying most of the bills and so on. I mean, at the end of the day, there is no best. There's no one way is the best. The best way is what is best for each couple. And we had four scenarios now. Okay, so yours is
your scenarios are bizarre. Your scenarios are bizarre, but keep going. Keep going.
so we have four scenarios now. Okay, yours is the first one where we put everything together. They're all making the same amount of money. The other one is there's a percentage going where the amount of money is based on the amount of money of who's paying the amount of money going to rent is based on how much money each person is making. The third scenario is the man, regardless of what's going on, pays the rent. It doesn't matter what's going on in his life, he pays the rent. And the fourth one is, in this case, they get an agreement. The man does something else, more other things in the house, and the woman pays most of the bills. While you don't agree with it, let's other people decide what do they think is the best for them, or how does it happen in their couple.
That last one that you gave, I don't know. It's,
I
it's
don't
as
get
if
it.
it's as if
It was
it's as if the man went to a restaurant and they couldn't pay for food, so now he has to go and wash dishes in the
no,
back
no,
because he
no,
didn't have enough
no,
money to pay for
no,
food.
no, 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 no. Why is
So
you see?
okay, since the man doesn't have enough money to pay for food in the house, he has to be the one to wash dishes when they're done eating.
No,
That's
that is not what it says. That has nothing to do with that.
that's
That
pretty much what you said, bro. That's
no,
pretty
that's not what I said. That's not what I
that's
said.
the most bizarre of them all.
That is not what I said at all. That is an assumption you're making. So, for instance, well, maybe the woman is busy working,
Who
and the
told you
man
the man is not busy? Who told you he's not busy?
is
This
he's
man is working 80 hours a week to bring in 2K. He's not busy.
so they both agree. Okay, they both agree that he's busy working hard for 2K. The woman is busy working, making 8K. They both sat down and decide it might be easier for you to decrease some of the amount of work, and I will be paying most of the bills, and you can do other things that can help us live a better life. I mean, if they have that agreement, who are you to judge? Who are we to judge them?
Should now you bring scenario coming to me. Oh. I'm not judging anybody. You just brought the scenario. You brought scenario, and I gave my viewpoint. I'm not judging. What people can do whatever they want with their life. I'm not going to stop anybody. You can do whatever you want in their life. But if you ask me for my opinion, I'll tell you my opinion. If you like, call it elitist.
It is a list.
Thank you. I thank God that I'm now considered among the elites. Top 1%. Here we go.
You are
Elon
not
Musk. Elon Musk is coming to my house tomorrow.
you are not even close to the top of it. Go and ask yourself somewhere. Anyways. So you were saying your final point of view. Sorry.
I've given my final point. I have nothing else to say.
Okay.
So
So
become one, combine your income and sit down and make a budget with your spouse. Be humble and just make a budget and stand by it. Plan for
um,
your future.
to me, it should be a partnership. You guys sit down and decide whatever works best for you guys. If combining your budget as one is working best for you guys, yes. If other options like those that I mentioned can work for you, well, that's fine. At the end of the day, it's a discussion between you and your spouse, and you guys decide together what works best for you guys. And
That sounds like that sounds like a good roommate situation. But anyway, thank you everyone for tuning into the Free Thinkers. We appreciate your time and drop a comment down below. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think about gender roles in the general, and what do you think about the scenario we presented? All right, everyone. Abdel, any final thoughts? Anything?
please let us know what you think. Honestly, not all those opinions are necessarily what we at least in my case, not necessarily how it will be in how it is in our personal life. We're providing those opinions or other scenarios so we can have a discussion. So please let us know what you think is best for you, or what do you think can work in these scenarios, and hopefully we can read more of your comments.
All right, everyone. Thank you. Have a great time and keep thinking freely.